Well, they thought they could get rid of us, but we're back.
Never.
So,
We're back.
hey everybody, welcome to another edition of OpenLab. Hey Kim, hey Andrea.
Hey.
So, yeah, wherever you're catching us, YouTube or Facebook, make sure you comment in the comments field so we can see it. What do we have for the swag question this week?
Right. So, yep. So if you guys remember, we make you work a little bit for your chance to enter into the swag drawing. So, the question for today is: do you sell across multiple platforms? You could just give a yes or a no. So if you want some awesome IL swag, just drop your answer in the comments section, and your name will automatically be entered into the drawing. And as always, we draw the winners' names at the end of the broadcast.
So stick around.
Yep. Oh, speaking of comments, I don't know, you guys have probably been into different forums where people are kind of rude.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been in there?
Absolutely.
What do they call them? Trolls? I think that's what the young kids say.
That's what the cool kids say, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have just a little public service announcement here from one of our friends. A friend of the show is going to pop in, and just one rule we have in the comment section.
Be nice. Come on.
That's it. Just be nice.
I knew that was coming.
Well, we had to do
like
something.
I saw where that was going. Yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll just get into it. Enough messing around, right? So product updates.
Woohoo!
So everybody knows we've already, you should have new inventory by now. So let me share my screen here. But if you're not familiar with new inventory and you kind of want to learn about it, then what you can do is from within the app, just go to the webinars link under resources, and you can sign up for an inventory webinar, and we'll go through the new pages of inventory. There's also a quick start in there. I want to mention that. Just walking you start to finish from creating a batch all the way through your shipments in Seller Central. So that's pretty handy when that's also in there. And I'm going to post a link later as soon as I find it. I got a little caught off guard with that one. I forgot I was supposed to do that. So I have a survey that I'd like you to take. If you've ever attended a webinar, give us some input on what you'd like to see there. And then another product update we have is on the, Supplier Profitability. I've got to search quite a ways back because in this account we don't have any sales, but we've added the on-hand buy cost, so you can get a total of your on-hand buy cost per supplier. So that was requested, so we've added that. So there you have it. Product updates. Check out the new inventory pages. Let us know what you think, good, bad, or whatever. So now
you can't deny that they're pretty,
Yeah,
they're very pretty.
Yeah. It looks very nice. I think they did
very
a great
pretty.
job.
Very pretty. Even the overview page is just.
Yeah, there you go. Overview page right there. It gives a quick look at everything.
Colors,
Yeah, they look.
MFN's back. Oh, I see. Okay, they added it back with no information available. Okay.
That was me. I sent in some MFN product today.
Oh, okay.
Well, not actually, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to we don't have to run out to the store and grab stuff at a loss to send to people that bought it, right?
Right. It's the googly eyes. That's what I always put in there, the googly eyes.
I did that in a webinar. I listed, it was in my other test account, and I listed a book. It was a book on Hamlet. So luckily it's not big, it's not real popular because I had it and I didn't think I sent the feeds, but I did. And so I did another webinar like a week later on the same thing, and it showed this as active. And I was like, what is this? I shouldn't have any merchant fulfilled inventory active, but there was this Hamlet book just sitting there. So I had to jump into Seller Central and make, reduce the quantity real quick. I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even know where to find that. Yeah. Maybe that's why it's not very popular. It's just not, I don't know. The classics. Nobody wants to read them anymore.
I do.
Lucky for me. Well, I'm glad you weren't searching for a Hamlet book.
I didn't know.
I
already have it, Jeff.
Oh, there you go.
No, come on, I'm a Shakespeare nerd.
What's your favorite Shakespeare story, book? Or is it too hard to pick?
I've always loved the Scottish play.
Oh.
And
Macbeth?
Yes. Which I guess we could say it, right? Because we're not
performing it. Yeah.
So I've always loved Macbeth. And then but I've always been a sucker for Twelfth Night. So
Twelfth Night's good too.
I love Twelfth Night, yes.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say I've never read the books. I've seen the movies, but yeah.
That's good enough. You know what? You get better context. Because I remember trying to read Shakespeare as a teenager, and I had to actually watch movies before it all clicked. And then I went back and read. I went, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
Yeah,
I don't feel so bad.
For my group, they gave us like the student books where it's like, here it is, and the original Shakespearean, spelling, and here it is in normal. This is what it was basically like translated for you on the same page. Like that's how.
Yeah, that's great.
That's how great we were.
I'm just trying to find that survey I mentioned. I'll keep looking. So let's jump into.
I love that.
Support. Yeah, sorry if I scared anybody. So, did we go over last week the restoring a batch, creating a new batch from a closed batch? I had it on the list, but I can't remember if we actually talked about that.
We didn't. No.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me just show you real quick how to do that. So you go to your list, closed batches page, and then once you're there, it takes a while for this page for us, always in this test account, because we have, gosh, I don't know how many hundreds of batches probably in there. And then if you want to restore a batch, you just click on it, and you can click on the restore button, and then it's going to ask you to create, it'll remind you if you want to create a new batch from just a few items, you can do that too by just selecting those before you click there. But if you're just going to restore it, you just click just restore. I won't do that. But then the next question is going to be, I think, if you want box contents on or off for it. But that's how you restore it. And then you would just send the feeds by just going through the submit process. Creating a new batch from an old batch, you just select the items here and then restore. And you want to click new batch because you want to create a new batch for that. And that's where you get the box content on or off. You can enable box contents for that batch or turn it off.
If you're just restoring it though, and you don't have your box contents on, you can't add it to the new when you restore the batch.
Good point. Yep. So then it takes you right to the list page and you're all set to go. So if I needed to resend the feeds, I can just review, then submit, and then make sure I uncheck that box, and then it'll just send the feeds for the batch. So anyway, that was just kind of a quick tip there. Well, actually, it's Tales from Support. I'm jumping ahead there, aren't I? So it's live, folks. So this will happen. So I can't follow a script. Sorry. Okay. Now the most wanted segment in the history of OpenLab, Kim's Corner. The most popular.
Which is
People
insane.
rave about it each week. Yeah. So what do you have this week?
All right. So welcome to the part of OpenLab where I talk about what I'm learning about InventoryLab software and Amazon selling and just e-commerce in general. You guys, do you know what I did last week?
What? No,
What?
I did a batch.
Woohoo!
Like it was
Your
so
own
exciting.
batch?
It was crazy. Like I even set up my Dymo printer all by myself. It wasn't just me looking over somebody's shoulder. I actually did the batch. So
It's awesome, actually.
Full disclosure, I only did a replenishment, so it was easier than just adding something new to the inventory, but at least it gave me a chance to see the basic process of doing a batch, and it wasn't pretty. Be honest, it definitely was not pretty. I was trying to muddle my way through everything, but the cool thing I've noticed about IL is that it really does make things simple once you become familiar with it and kind of figure out how to navigate your way around it. And, like with anything else that's completely new or outside of your comfort zone, there's a learning curve. And believe me, when I tell you, I had to bother Jeff and a couple of our other CCs throughout the process. So shout out to them. So it took me a while to finish just this one replenishment, but I did it. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that I took away from it. So the first thing is, we have the most awesome and patient customer service people around, like legitimately. Now, you might think I feel obligated to say that, but if I really didn't believe that, I just wouldn't say anything. You know how your mom teaches you, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
But you're not the only one saying it, though.
It's
Heather
true.
agrees.
We have an amazing support team. We do. Thank you so much, Jeff, and shout out to Meg and Chrissy. Thank you guys so much. Second thing, everything you need to know is just a click or two away. So don't be afraid to navigate around. So I was at first, I was thinking, I'm going to break something, I'm going to do something wrong and it'll just ruin everything. But, it took me a while to figure things out. But nothing that I did on my own ruined the batch or did anything that was irreversible. So that was great.
Awesome.
So the third thing that I took away was that once you've added your item and it tells you which Amazon warehouse or warehouses it wants you to ship to, you need to click on each shipment to assign it to a box before you can print your packing list. So if, for those of you who have been doing this for a while, you guys all know this, but if you don't, there's a button that tells you can print your packing list at the bottom of the screen. But what I didn't do was assign it to a box. So I had to click on each individual shipment, assign it to a box, and then I was able to go ahead and print those packing lists. So like in my case, I had 11 items total, and they were going to 3 different warehouses. So I had 3 different shipments. So once I knew that, like I said, I kept trying to click on that print shipping packing list button and nothing would happen. And then as I clicked on each individual shipment, then I was able to print the packing list with no problem. So that took me a while to figure out. Yeah.
I'm going to create those shipments so I can catch up. I thought I'd find a batch because we have so many that already had shipments created, but of course the one time.
Well, of course, I know, right? Of course, the one time.
Let's see.
So are you? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there it is. So at the bottom, the blue button.
Yeah.
And I would click it and nothing would happen until I signed everything to a box.
So there's what it'll look like.
One little step I had to do.
And then if you want images.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that
handy
cool?
when you're packing boxes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that you could print it with or without the picture. I imagine some people don't want to use up the ink, don't care whether it has a picture, but other people are like, no, I want to make sure that, what I'm sending is, they can see at a glance that this is exactly what it should be. So.
And you can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items in there too. So, to have that option to have the pictures and without, it's really nice.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Andrea. I know we're not doing a Q&A quite yet, but this applies. So Heather was asking if there was a recommended batch size, and she says, I'm tempted to add as much as possible, but then end up with hundreds of items to process. Wow. So is it just a, personal preference? I mean,
the more items you have in the batch, it's going to, if you get into hundreds and hundreds, eventually it's going to slow down, I think. Sorry, Andrea, I didn't mean to
No,
jump in here. Go ahead.
I was going to say as well, depending or if you're part of the Amazon, the shipping destination, how they will break it up into smaller destinations for you. If you're part of that program, if you have that setting enabled, if you add more items to it, your chances are less likely, I believe, to have more splits for your batch. So I think like the more items you have, the less splits you might get because of all the product that you're providing. But yeah,
inventory placement.
yeah, inventory placement
Yeah.
services.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the thing about the batch size, if you're just in the process of adding to your batch, the more items you add, as you add an item to the batch, we have to, make that connection with Amazon and search for it. And as you're scrolling, we're getting that information live. So that can sometimes slow things down if you get hundreds of items in a batch. But yeah, I think it's whatever you want to work with. If you're, some people I know split up a batch based on where they purchased the items, or maybe by, if you're buy from a wholesaler, maybe by the company you're purchasing from. Some do it they have employees that are out there sourcing, so they'll split it up into those types of batches. But yeah, it's just kind of a personal preference. I don't think we have a recommended size. It's just be aware that when you get a bunch of items in there, since we're communicating with Amazon Live, it can sometimes slow down when you're scrolling or trying to find something, just because there's so many items that we're checking on live. Feeds are pretty quick usually, but like Q4, of course, it bogs down.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to
Yeah.
know.
There's only so much we can do through the Amazon API is what we call it.
Yeah.
So.
And Jeff, you said that you have 30 days, right, to send a batch?
Well, it's 30 days from the time you create your shipment and
Okay.
ship it out. So if you were to, like in this case, if I ship this one out today, then these other two, I would have 30 days to get them shipped before I run afoul of Amazon. So
Okay.
that's why we have that option of adding to an existing shipment. So when you're creating batches later, you can add items from those batches into an existing shipment over here that's working, and make the shipment more cost effective. So
Okay.
keep that in mind. If you're not aware of that, just go here to Resources, Help Center, and search for Add to Working or Add to Existing, and it walks you through step by step. Oh, if you guys want to see that
really
too,
easy.
you can put it in the comments. I can demo it, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And just one more thing I just wanted to just note that I took away from making my my first batch. Just a little thing, but you can customize the name of each shipment. So as each shipment was created, there's a default name assigned automatically. And that's how the shipment's identified in Seller Central. So I just left it with the default name, but of course you can change it and customize it however you want to. So it's just a little thing, but I thought it was definitely worth noting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
that,
if you don't change them right there and on that step, because you can't go back after you create them, but you can go to the shipment, create on the or click on the hamburger icon,
Yep.
and then just click on rename, and then you can change it to whatever you want. The default is the date and time where you are, so that's what we use. But yeah, you can
right.
change the
And then if
shipment
you,
name.
it doesn't change it in Seller Central though, right? It's still going to be that default name in Seller Central.
Oh, you know what? We can test that out. Let's look.
Okay.
Because that's a good question, but I'm not sure.
When in doubt, test it out.
Yeah.
Hi, Angie.
Oh, hey, Angie.
Let's see here.
And I see people are agreeing with me about the support. I appreciate that because, like I said, I really do think we have a great team. So.
And honestly, like we get a lot of requests for phones, but I don't know if people are aware that we do have live chat available 5 days a week, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. So, That is
right.
always available.
And that's Monday through Friday, right, Andrea?
Yeah, Monday through Friday. And it does update.
It does. Here's
Oh, it does. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
great.
It didn't take long either, just for me logging in. It was there.
That's good, because I feel like if you change the name, but it stated as the default name in Seller Central, that could be really confusing.
Yeah, I knew it did at the
Set a
initial when
cross-reference.
you were creating them. I knew that it, it would take that name, but I wasn't sure on the edit. But so it's always good to test out. Forget
That's
things,
great.
especially at my advanced age. Forget things. So if I forget your names, I apologize in advance. So.
And just a reminder, if you have not commented already, if you want to say that yes or no, if you sell on additional marketplaces besides Amazon, you can do so in the chat, and then we'll enter you into our swag drawing at the end.
Woohoo!
Yeah. We got some new stuff coming in too for the swag. So.
Can't say it yet, but it's coming.
That's exciting. Am I getting some new swag?
Well, we'll see.
Are we getting new swag? I still want one of the little vacuums. What is it? The
Crumbies.
The Crumbie,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, for the people that are just joining us, we just had there's just one rule here in the comments section. So.
Be nice. Come on.
Yeah, just a little reminder there, in case you missed it, Angie.
Never gets old, Jeff.
Yeah.
We should just play that every 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Chrissy.
I don't know. I think that's
that Chrissy Pop. She really knows what she's talking about.
She does.
I could tell.
Yeah.
She's a smart cookie.
All right. So it's now time for our Amazon news section.
Amazon news.
Yeah, we need a jingle, right?
Yeah, we do.
We do. Yeah, some kind of little song.
Yeah. So our first Amazon news point is there was an article that came out on CNBC about a teenager who had $2 million in sales for all of 2020. And his name is Hayden. He ramped up his side hustle of reselling items on Amazon and other online marketplaces in 2020 to the tune of 6-figure margins.
Wow.
So 1.7 million worth of sales were on Amazon alone. And he said the rest were just on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, which is surprising. I thought it was going to be other e-commerce, but it looks like he made it mostly through Facebook. I mean, Facebook Marketplace is moving into more of an e-commerce setting, but it's not just the local meetup and sell some lady a blender anymore. But the rest was made on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, which I just thought that was
Craigslist.
incredible.
That's still around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
Wow,
it's still there.
Oh, look at that little hustler, 16 years old.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, and he said his after accounting for costs like shipping and the product's original retail prices, Max says that he turned a total profit of $110,000 for himself. But I believe he takes a lot of other money out of whatever his actual profit was to, buy new inventory and replenish it. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to give quite his, all of his secrets away, but but his inventory research, he specifically looked for targeted products that he knew would be in high demand and short supply at different points of time, such as swimming pools. And then, at the beginning of 2020 and mid 2020, there was a huge demand for gaming systems. If everybody remembers, everybody and their mom wanted a Nintendo Switch. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Suddenly everybody wanted a Nintendo Switch.
I got one.
So. You did? Nice.
Oh, yeah. My son and my daughter and I, we all got one. So
Nice.
I can't stop playing Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing is a classic. I used to play it on GameCube. That's how old I am, though. So
I think it was the same for like PlayStation and Xboxes, right? Because you still can't find a PlayStation 5 out there anywhere unless you're
no, you can't.
lucky.
And if you are, I think you're still paying above market price.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy.
My roommate paid like I think $1,200 for his PS5, but he said it was so worth it. He loves it. He said it was worth it.
Okay.
So as long as he's comfortable with that decision, then good for him. Like good for him. Yeah.
Crazy, but yeah.
And then another thing that was mentioned in the article about Max was that he uses Discord groups for getting selling tips from other sellers. I'm curious, do any of our users use like a Discord app to communicate with other Amazon sellers when doing like research on what to buy, getting like hot tips, you know?
That's
so
interesting. Discord, I usually associate that with gamers, but yeah, that's.
You can find a Discord for almost anything, actually. So
wow.
It's really interesting. But yeah, if anyone does use Discord, I'd be very curious, you know, put it in the chat.
Same.
I'm really curious. I know a lot of seller people that like to get other people set up with selling. They have their own private Discords that they give out to their users. So yeah.
He's got his buddies involved. Look at those youngsters, hustlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Yeah, no kidding.
They said retail arbitrage was dead too. Look at that.
Right.
I guess they say that every year though, don't they? And still kicking.
Still kicking. So yeah, I thought that article was super interesting. But that's 1.7 million in sales. It's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Put that in the.
Yeah, we've got one Discord user so far.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay.
Jennifer, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Emily.
Emily.
Discord. I'm not hip enough.
Neither
I'm
are
right
we,
there
Emily.
with you, Emily. Yeah. Well, Andrea probably is, but yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I use it for soccer.
Oh yeah. Thus the kit she's wearing. I just learned that term too. Thanks, Andrea.
Arsenal.
So,
oh yeah. Yeah, it's a kit.
Yeah.
Not a jersey, a kit. The match kit.
All right. Our next news article.
Oh yeah, Jennifer says that she has. Oh, I didn't mean to help that one. Sorry, Jennifer.
Oh, that's all right.
No such thing, Jennifer.
She says that she's learned a lot from other sellers on Discord too. So if anyone's interested in it, I recommend looking out and seeing what sort of groups are out there. Some won't show up publicly. You have to get like a private direct link in order to access the Discord. But yeah, it's always worth checking out. I know there's a lot of groups on there that talk about researching tips and everything when it comes to selling. So it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. All right. So our next piece of news is Amazon's Pay Gift Guide. They made an announcement that says that Amazon Pay is offering merchants a chance to participate in its annual gift guide, which will highlight new products and merchants to Amazon customers who are shopping during peak season. In order to be eligible, though, all you have to do is register and launch Amazon Pay on your website by October 15th, 2021. So Amazon Pay, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's similar to PayPal. It's a way that you might see it on other websites. It's a way to just automatically enter in your payment system. It's all handled through Amazon, though. And also like provides your address as well, your shipping address if you're ordering something. But Amazon Pay is pretty nifty. I'm not sure how many sellers have their own website where they actually accept payment through. But for those who are thinking to get started in that, Amazon Pay looks like a really good alternative to PayPal, because I'm not sure exactly how PayPal works with, getting permission to make sales through it, but it looks like they're trying to make Amazon Pay a really good option for you to do that through your website.
Yeah, with PayPal, I know you can link different bank accounts, different credit cards, so that everything is just using PayPal, so your credit card information isn't visible. And so it sounds like that's what they're doing there, using the payment information the purchasers already have in their own Amazon account. So yeah, that's gives you another option. Wonder what the fees would be for that. And
yeah,
also
I'm not
wonder
sure.
if you
They're not very transparent on the fees, but
yeah. Like one of the comments from this was from the news thing, and the guy said, I said it before and I'll say it again. Why on earth would anybody want to further integrate Amazon into their business? Gift bribery will not change my mind on that.
Wow.
Well, to each his own,
Don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Yeah, people are very passionate, either on one side or the other. So yeah, I mean, it's another option. I think it's good to have options. So maybe they have some deals and stuff. But anyway, yeah, it says you can start in the Amazon's Pay Gift Guide too if you do that. So put the link in there to the story. It's just on your news feed. So, and there's also another one on 5 ways it helps small business owners.
Yeah, so something to definitely look into. If you're into selling things on your own website separate from Amazon, I think is what it's mostly for. So if you're a private label seller, it's a good option to have.
Yeah, always good to have options.
Mm-hmm.
There, now I got the right link in there. I'll get this down eventually. After how many episodes?
And then,
all right.
Yeah, what's this next piece of news? So you can actually go behind the scenes at an Amazon fulfillment center virtually, so without even leaving your house, because those numbers are coming back up again, those COVID numbers. And Jeff will be putting the link in the chat on where you can book, how you can book a virtual tour to go through and see the Amazon Fulfillment Center virtually. But quick facts, many fulfillment centers span the equivalent of 28 football fields. 28 football
facility.
A single facility, 28 football fields.
Wow.
That is huge. But you think about how much product they have to keep in there.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. Fulfillment centers can hold tens of millions of items on any given day. So it is huge. I'm going to book my virtual tour soon because I need to see this.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, that's where when you send in your FBA items, they go to the fulfillment center or the warehouse. And from there, you can, on your virtual tour, you'll be able to see how your inventory is handled once it gets there. The employees, they'll pick, pack, and ship, Amazon orders at more than 175 facilities worldwide. So
I didn't realize they had that many worldwide. I knew they had a number, but wow, that's they're just not wasting any time taking over the world. Yeah, they already have, I guess.
And space, Jeff. Don't forget.
Yes, and space. Yeah.
And space.
That's right.
Yeah.
Astronaut Jeffy.
That's right.
But I'll be booking a virtual tour because I need to see this for myself. I'm pretty close to a fulfillment center, but I don't want to.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, very close.
I put one here in Tulsa too. Oh, whoops! I told everybody where I live. Uh-oh.
They put one in Milwaukee. That's where I am, but it's not actually in Milwaukee. It's about 20 miles south of Milwaukee. Not even in the same county, even actually. So, but you'll see it on your, proposed whenever you're sending out to warehouses. It's MKE. That's Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to see a lot of when we were full-time RVing. It was just every state we hit, it seemed like there's another Amazon fulfillment center. That and Walmart fulfillment centers. They were trying to keep up.
Mhm.
All right. What is it? Oh, that was our. Well, thanks, Andrea,
Oh
for
yeah.
that Amazon news. I can't even talk. All right. So now we're going to quick tips. So as you may have noticed with the new inventory pages, you can set up your own custom view. And in the old inventory pages, you had to switch to management view to get the ability to track your items on your velocity report. So I'm just going to show you how to set up a custom view so that you can do that in your current pages. So you just go to any of the inventory pages, FBA inventory, obviously. Click up on the ellipses here. And then if you already have 5 views set up, you can see I already created a velocity view. But if you don't, and let me just, I'm just going to delete this velocity one. I'll go back, I'm going to manage my views, and I'm going to add a new view, and then I'm going to call it velocity. And so you always have the column 1, which is the item, and then the MSKU in column 2, but you definitely want to have lead time, so you make sure you select that. You may want something else, so you can pick another column identifier there if you want it. And you can do up to 11 columns. Well, actually 9 choices since 2 are fixed for you, but you just save the changes, and then it tells you that they've been saved. And then now you just switch to the velocity view, and there you go. Now you can add your lead times into the items you want to track in your velocity report. It's pretty simple. And this view will stay that way until you switch it again. So if you like the standard view, you can go back to that or make your own custom view that you want to see. So also let us know how you're finding the inventory pages, what you like, what you don't like. Support at InventoryLab.com so we can make improvements to that. Maybe we can add something you're not seeing yet and you want to see. Just make sure you get those to us. And yeah, we hope you're liking it, though. That'd be nice to see in the comments what you're finding useful or not. And all right, so I guess we're now on Q&A. So do we already have some questions? I think we might have.
Let's see. We have one from Baldy. Are you going to have an update on the phone app anytime soon?
Oh, Stratify 2. Yeah, that's always updated differently than the main application, Stratify. Yeah, we're always making little updates to it, but if there's something you want to see or something you want to see changed, email us, support@InventoryLab.com, so we can add that to the user suggestions that the developers look at. That's kind of how they get their ideas on where to take the applications next. So if there's something you want to see that you're not seeing, or email us, or if you're having issues, by all means email us so we can help you with that.
Okay, great. And Jack is asking, I heard using InventoryLab helps reduce how many FBA warehouse your items will get split up to. Can you talk more about this? So we touched on that very briefly, but how can the software actually help you reduce the number of warehouses?
So InventoryLab, we just forward the warehouse destinations from Amazon through the MWS. So that's the only way that we have any influence over that. So we don't have any influence at all, basically, unless you have the inventory placement services enabled in Seller Central on your account. That's pretty much the only thing that will actually affect your warehouse destinations being split up. We just pass that information along from Seller Central. So having an InventoryLab account actually doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, some people have said using the private will give you less splits than using live when you're using InventoryLab, but yeah, like Andrea said, it's all from Amazon. We don't have any control.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice if we did, but Amazon keeps that pretty. Kind of lost my train of thought. They keep that. Where I was going, they keep that aspect of the API locked down, so we can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
There
we
we
can't
go.
edit it or anything.
That's good to know, at least. Heather asks, will IL always have a pop-up warning notification for items that are not allowed, either meltable or hazmat, etc., when entering it into a batch?
Some of those items like the brand, the gating, and that sort of thing, we get sooner in the process. And the API, they're always making changes to that. So we're always going to give you that information as soon as we get it. But we are adding some new features that will hopefully be out this quarter that should help you in that. I don't want to say anything yet, but we'll definitely announce it in our newsletter. So make sure you're signed up there. But yeah, it's always been a point of contention is when we get the alerts, do we give them soon enough? And it's all on how the API works from Amazon, because some of the alerts we don't get until you're actually created the batch, and then you try to put them in shipments or create your shipments.
Mm-hmm.
That might be good to talk about next time, is what alerts, what we get, because I can't remember off the top of my head, unless you do, Andrea, when we get certain things. I know brand usually pretty quick.
Yeah, so we get the gated by brand as soon as you attempt to add the item to your batch. That's when we receive that error. But for the meltable, hazmat, and sortable errors, those are based off of storage limits. And we don't receive your storage limits until you attempt to create a shipment. So that, unfortunately, that's the only time we have access to getting that error message from Amazon through the API, is when you are actually creating the shipment or attempting to create the shipment. We do have a current workaround for that. There is an article out there, I believe, that tells you what you need to do.
I'll see if I can find that.
Yeah. But basically, when that happens, unfortunately, so Amazon's policy for deleted, misrouted shipments is a shipping plan. When you upload a shipping plan to Amazon, or what we call a batch, you have to create every single shipment that's part of that batch that gets generated. Now, since you can't do that when you have reached your storage limits for, whether it's meltable or hazmat, we don't get that information until you try to create the shipment. So what you need to do in that case is you'll actually have to delete all of your shipments in Seller Central, and then then you can just restore the batch, delete the shipments, restore the batch. And from there, you can try and figure out what items may have brought you over to the limits for your storage limits. So you can try and edit those numbers after you restore the batch. But unfortunately, after you attempt to create the shipment, there's nothing we can do on our side besides sending the feeds through again and trying to get new shipments made. So
yeah, it's kind of a pain. We understand that. I mean, we're trying to work on some ways to show that storage information sooner, maybe by showing you the cubic feet in your batch, and then you could look at the storage limits on Seller Central, but I'm not sure when that would be released. Yeah, and you have to delete your shipments in Seller Central, and once you do, just come back and click the sync button here. That'll remove them from this window. And then if your batch isn't closed, just come up here and close it. But if you're already on box content and you've already sent box content, well, actually you couldn't, because you have to create them first. So yeah, you need to click here on the icon, select close, and then go back to the closed batches. And then that's where you do the restore batch thing that we showed earlier. But yeah, that's a tough one, unfortunately, when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Seems to be
unfortunately, there's
happening a
not
lot
much we
more
can.
recently.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not much. Yeah, there's not much we can do about it on our end because they don't make that error available to us until you attempt to create the shipment. So, yeah.
Any other questions any of you have? Feel free to put those in the comments, and we can address them or demo anything.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we have a few there.
Yeah, a few questions. Yeah, Emily wants to know any basic ideas on using the tagging feature.
Sure. So tagging. Let me just pop that in. I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a way to. I mean, we wanted tagging for your FBA and your merchant, probably more applicable to merchant. That's probably more closely aligned with unlisted because you're keeping all the items, locally instead of sending them to the warehouse. So you could use tags for, where it's stored in your warehouse or your garage, what bin is, like a bin ID, or maybe it's seasonal. Like some people use unlisted inventory tags for seasonal. You get a good deal on Christmas stuff in January. You want to tag it as maybe Christmas. So you just add a tag and then search for those tags by clicking here when you're ready to send them in so you can avoid storage limits. You could also tag items that you're selling on other marketplaces. Like if you sell on eBay, you could have these listed and unlisted and then tag it with eBay so that you know which items you're selling on eBay. And then when they sell, you can sort through these and find them along with where did I store that item I bought 3 months ago that's collectible that I just sold on eBay. So I say
Yeah,
that
or
because when I sold on eBay, I did have a collectible item. I listed it, I packed it up, and then I put the box away. And then it was like a month and a half later, I sold it. Do you think I could find that item? No. Sorry, Andrew, you were saying? Go ahead.
No, one other thing I was saying, like if you do both wholesale sourcing and, other sorts of sourcings, that's another tag you could add to your inventory to see, you can, that way you can actually look and see like, okay, these are all my items that I got wholesale. These are all my items that I got, sourced a different way. That's another way you could utilize
that's a
the
good
tags
way.
as well. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you could put
That is a good idea.
And to add the tag, it's very simple. You just click on add tags if it's already got tags. Of course, am I going to find one that has a tag? I'll just make one.
I was going to say.
The OpenLab. Now you can put up to 16 characters. And then I don't need help spelling OpenLab, I guess. Then I hit the space bar, it creates the tag. So now I've saved that and I've got OpenLab as a tag. If I want to add more tags, I just click on a little pencil icon and then I can add another tag or I can remove this and change it. Maybe you're moving it to a different spot. You can't edit the tags, but you can just type in a new location and then just click the X to remove the old one. So yeah, it's pretty simple. And even if you're on maybe a replenishments page, you can still add tags there. So.
And is there a limit to how many tags you can add?
16. You can have 16 tags up to 16 characters each.
Oh, 16 each. Okay, 16,
Yeah.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so we have a question from Kosh, and Kosh asks, hi, I'm not able to add the buy cost when I create a new listing in the unlisted function. Can you guys add a field to allow me to add the buy cost when listing?
Let's see. Do you mean when you're trying to add an unlisted item to a batch from your unlisted inventory?
That's what it sounds like.
So you'd first have to set your buy cost on the items on your unlisted inventory page. And then once you do that, when you go to FBA, when you go to the list and prep page, let me show you what I mean here. This poor test account is so slow when we
have so many batches open.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We have a lot of batches open.
So I'm going to. So I'm just going to copy this ASIN to use this one. So I can just click this icon to copy the ASIN. Find an open batch that's not, there we go. So now I have my Amazon and unlisted selected, so I can search both. So it tells me I have this one on my unlisted inventory. So I'm going to use that MSKU, and you can't update the cost. Like, I think that's what you mean. You can't change any of this. We do have that suggestion into the developers to make it so that we can edit this, and it's tied into unlisted, so it would, also edit there. But currently you have to go to your unlisted inventory page. And if you run into this, just go to, inventory, click unlisted, open it in a new tab. You can open up in a new tab like that, and then just click on the item and add your cost in real quick and save it. Let me see if that'll change that quick. I don't know if it does. So I would probably have to cancel out, and then, nope, I'd have to cancel out all the way, it looks like, or it might not have synced yet. This is the best part about live. There we go. So you just search again and select it, and then it'll show up there. So you can't have multiple tabs open. We just suggest don't do multiple tabs to like the list page where it's kind of a live communication with Amazon, because then you can run into trouble. So if that didn't answer your question, if you want to pop in another one and tell me that I was off base and it should be something else, feel free. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a question from EW Warner's BC Global. Is there an IL simulator so we can play with the system without affecting any accounts? That's interesting.
Oh, Andrea, this is right up your alley.
So we do not have an IL simulator, but we do have our 30-day free trial, which allows access up to 6 months of your last sales, and an active inventory. So that gives you kind of like a good way to play around with InventoryLab. You don't have to use it to list. So it won't necessarily, if you don't use it to list, it won't really affect your account unless you make like removal and disposal decisions on whether or not that inventory is sellable or unsellable. So if you're just looking to play with the accounting stuff, I'd recommend doing the 30-day free trial and seeing what you can all do with just the inventory. But you don't have to make a listing through InventoryLab in order to use it. We have more than several, but we have a lot of users who don't list through InventoryLab, but they use us for the accounting features. So that's the best way. While we don't have a simulator, the 30-day free trial is a pretty solid way to get a good hang on what our features are and what InventoryLab has to offer. So,
yeah, and no payment information is required, so you can get in there and.
Yep. So nothing to lose.
Yeah. Yep. Once it's out, you're out. You won't get charged unless you manually sign up for our subscription. So.
Okay. All right, I think we have time for one more quick question. Brad says, I have just started using IL in Scout and am loving it. Just a question regarding Scoutify. I have a Samsung Note and the camera will not focus. Is there a fix for this? And have you heard of any other issues? Has this been something that you've heard before with Androids?
It seems like we have had this issue in the past. I'm trying to recall what it was. I know that.
I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure. You've probably tried tapping the screen as it's trying to scan. If you can send your details of your phone, like the model, what the operating system version is for your Android, send that to support, support at InventoryLab.com, so we can look into that for you. They may have some fixes for you there. I know we've had this issue in the past. I haven't heard of this happening recently though. And our developers have a variety of different Android phones, so they can look into this and do some testing. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you right now. I know I've heard of that happening, but not recently. So.
No, I'm not seeing any tickets for the past few years on it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you reach out to us, we'll be more than happy to take a look. If you give us the make and model, that'll be super awesome, and the current operating system that you have, like the last time it was updated.
Good idea. And then Kosh just had just a follow-up comment. Thanks for your answer. I was trying to ask about adding the buy box price when listing. I am in the UK and selling US, but the prep center adds the buy box price every time. So.
Okay, so you can check on your settings. If you go to settings, and if you're listing in a batch, you can set up the auto pricing so it matches the buy box price. I'm not sure if they do that or not, or if they're using your InventoryLab account as a sub account. But you can set it to match the buy box price or just a fixed value, or you'll set your own. But that's where you add the list price right here. And if you want to match the buy box price, you just click there if you don't have it already set. So your prep center has the buy box price every time she checks your goods in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if if you're creating the batch and sending the feeds and then they're working off of your shipping plan, then this is where you'd set it. And then that information goes with your shipping plan, and that's what they work off of in Seller Central, if I'm understanding your question. It's definitely worth maybe an email to your prep center to confirm which one they're using and make sure they're using the right one that you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Is it about that time?
I think it is.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. So here we go.
Free swag.
Giveaway.
Do we have the drum roll?
I do.
You do?
I don't have a drum roll.
That's the
I
rim
need
shot.
to get one of those. Yeah. I guess rim shot is good for us though. It's like comedy hour.
You're not wrong.
You can't say we don't have fun with this show.
We do.
So,
I mean,
right?
I don't know if the audience does, but we do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'll just, Andrea, you take the reins.
Okay. So we did some drawings. Thanks for your responses about if you sell on other marketplaces or not. So we have swag bag winner number 1 is Train Watcher Don.
Yay.
So
Train Watcher Don.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congrats.
So reach out to us at support@InventoryLab.com with your information where you would like to receive your swag box, and we will get that taken care of. So for swag bag winner number 2 is Jennifer Steger.
Congrats, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Congrats, Jennifer. Again,
Nice.
just shoot us an email at support@InventoryLab.com with your mailing address and where you'd like to receive your box of swag. It won't let you down, I promise. I love our swag. I'm so happy with my
We do
swag.
have some awesome stuff.
I'm obsessed with it.
What it's like to get an InventoryLab swag box.
I clicked on that too soon. I didn't finish what I was saying. So I kind of
so
shocked
excited.
myself. Yeah, I was so excited to show that little TikTok that Andrea did. Just love that thing.
That was a great
Okay.
video.
So I
Nice.
love it. I love all the swag. I love my Crumbie. I love them. Okay.
All right.
Then
So there we have it.
All righty.
Is that it?
Woohoo!
is that
Congrats
it?
to our winners. Thank you, everybody, for joining us as always. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's awesome. Awesome seeing all of you here. And also remember,
Be nice. Come on.
Thank you, Dalton.
using the. Yeah, Dalton. It's awesome of you to join us today. So,
Never, ever, ever gets old. Never.
at least not for us. So.
No. And it's our show, so
Well, there
that's
you go.
okay.
All right. Well, Andrea, Kim, thanks again for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me
Thanks
join
for
you
having
guys,
us.
actually. So, yeah. See you all in a couple of weeks.
See you
Yeah,
then.
see you in a few weeks. Bye.